Hello, AP Stats students. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the table of random digits, also known as Table D, to select a simple random sample. So first off, suppose that we have a situation where we have a population of 50 individuals, and we are wanting to take a sample of size 10 individuals from the population of 50. So the first step in doing the simple random sample, or the SRS, is to label our individuals from 1 to 50. So each individual is assigned a number. Then we're going to randomly select 10 individuals from the 50. If we want to do this with a table of random digits, we're going to want to start on a random line. First of all, the 3-digit number at the very front is just telling us what line it is, and it gives us 50 lines. So it starts at line 101 and it ends at line 150. If you're doing this entirely on your own and wanting to select a random sample, it really doesn't matter what line you start on. If you see a problem in the textbook or on a test question, it's more common that they will give you the line. They'll actually have it typed into the problem. So it might say something like, starting on line 104, select your sample. So if I'm told what line to start on, I'm going to find that line, and I'm just going to focus on the numbers here that I've highlighted. I'm not going to utilize the 104. I'm going to start here. And then I need to think about how many digits the numbers are that I'm looking for. So if I have labeled my individuals from 1 to 50, that is ending with a 2-digit number, so I can actually think about putting a 0 in front of the 1 so that I can see every number represented in this set of labeling. The population is a size of 2 digits. And so what I'll notice is that 0, 1 up to 50, 50, has meaning in my problem because an individual from my population has one of those labels, one of those numbers. All of the numbers outside of that range that also involve 2 digits would be everything from 51 to 99. I'm going to ignore those for this situation because it doesn't have any meaning. I don't have any individuals that have been assigned those numbers. So let's go back to this line 104 that I've highlighted. So the first 2-digit number I see is 52. Well, I don't have anybody assigned 52, so I'm going to ignore that. Then I have number 71. I also don't have anybody assigned to 71. Now what's going to happen here is the 1 that's left is going to come over here and join with a 3. So we're just going to imagine that we're just going to bridge the gap there. And so the 1 in front of the 3 is actually representing the value of 13. I'm going to circle that 1 because I do have an individual that was labeled number 13. So that's the first selection for my sample. Then I'm going to continue. 88 has no meaning. 89 has no meaning. 93 has no meaning. But then I have 07. That works for me. So I have individual number 7. The 4 is going to join with the 6. So I have individual 46. The 0 in front of the 2 is individual number 2. Then we have 27. And then we're going to continue over here. So we have person or individual number 40. 01 is individual number 1. The 1 is going to join with the 8, so this is going to be individual number 18. 58 we're going to ignore, but we can do 48. Let's pause here and see how many we have. Okay, I'm at 9, so we're close. Okay, now look at this. Notice how when we jump over here we have another 48. Well, we don't want to have any repeats. When we are selecting individuals from a population for a sample, we don't want the same person or the same individual to be sampled twice. So in addition to ignoring the 51 to 99 values that don't have meaning, we're also going to ignore repeats. 76 has no meaning here. 75, no meaning. It looks like 25 is going to be our last individual. So what I would do here is that if I had all of those individuals in the population listed out, they're numbered from 1 to 50, I'm then going to go ahead and select the individuals that have been chosen. So I'm going to select individual or person number 13, I'm going to find person number 7, find person 46, and so on. That's the last part of this process, is actually find the people, give them our survey, or ask them our survey question. All right, so this scenario was modeling how we would select a sample that involved labels. We numbered our individuals that involved 2 digits. So there's different ways that this can look. It doesn't always have to be 2-digit numbers. In the next example, it could be a 1-digit number. So let's say that you only had a group of 10, and those 10 individuals were making up your population, and you want to select a sample of size 3, and we want this to be random. So if you have 10 or fewer in your population, we can do this with single-digit numbers. However, in this very first step of labeling the individuals, we actually don't want to label them from 1 to 10. The reason why is because 1 through 9 has 1 digit, but all of a sudden, if we have a 10 in there, it's going to turn into a 2-digit situation, and then we would really have to think about it as 0, 1 up to 10, and then we have a massive amount of numbers that we need to ignore, 11 through 99, and there's so many numbers that we would have to ignore that it's going to take us a very long time to get our sample. So instead of labeling them from 1 to 10, it's actually going to be better to label 1 through 9. And then what other digit is there that we could use to represent the 10th position? That's a 0. So we could actually put the first individual with a 0, the last individual as a 9. This is still getting us a total of 10 for our population. So once we have labeled them, now we can, again, either pick a line, or the problem might tell you what line to start on. So for example, if I was told to start on line 121, and I want to choose three individuals here for my sample, I can choose number 7, and then I can choose number 1, and then it looks like I select number 4. And it's as quick and simple as that. The only thing I would just need to watch out for is repeats. So let's say I chose 7 for the first one, and then there was another 7 immediately listed after. I would just ignore that until I got 3 different numbers. And of course, the final step, like we saw before, is that then once we've selected them, we determined who they were with the random digits table, we would then go and find and select those individuals that have been chosen for our sample. We would give them our survey or ask them our survey question. All right, in this last example, I want to show you that we can even use this for larger populations. Let's say that we were numbering our population and we got into the 3 digits. So it could work for something larger as well. I mean, really any number of digits would work. Let's say that you had a population of 350 and you wanted to select a sample of maybe size 20 from that population. So we could label our individuals from 1 to 350. Now here's what we would want to be careful of. Because 350 is 3 digits, we need to have the first label also represented as 3 digits. And so that would actually be 2 zeros in front of a 1. Make a little separation here so we can see that. So 001 is 1, 002 is 2, and so on, all the way up to 350. Now, we do have several in here that we would ignore. So anytime we get to the numbers of 351 all the way up to 999, also we would ignore 000 since we have not utilized that number either. We would just skip over those. So for example, if we wanted to start on line 144, where the question told us to start there, looking at 3-digit numbers, that's going to go like this. So first we have 629, we're going to ignore, 648, ignore, 814, ignore, 583, ignore, the first one that actually works for us is 083, so that would be like person number 83. And then we would just keep going. Now this one, of course, would take longer if we really wanted to get a size of 20, but we would ignore 694, 534, ignore 610, ignore it, 959, 505. Oh, you can see here, this might take a little bit of time, but it looks like we found another one here that'll work, 090, so it looks like we would select person 90. By the way, if you need more, so like look at this transition. So the very next digit I have is a 0. I'm just going to continue at the start of the next line. So 019, in other words 19, that would be my next individual, and then I would just continue working my way all the way through this row, and then I can go to the next one if I need to find all of the individuals I'm looking for. So hopefully this helps. You can always let me know if you have any additional questions.